Welcome to the Let 'Em Have It podcast.
I'm Melissa Anderson.
And I'm Amy Feick, and we're dishing real estate,
Real life,
unfiltered.
And today is our very first episode on who we are and our origin story. So we're really excited to bring that to you today.
Yeah, let's get started. So, Melissa, tell us how you got into real estate and a little bit about why you chose to be a solo agent versus joining a team.
I came about real estate in a roundabout way, but the short story is I was doing social media marketing for other real estate agents here, and then eventually got licensed and started my own journey.
That was very concise. I don't know if mine's going to be that concise. I feel like I thought about real estate for a lot of years before I got licensed. And I kind of grew up in that field. My grandfather was a builder. We often went to model homes, open houses with my mom, things like that. I do remember. And in my early 20s, I thought about getting into real estate. And then I just heard it was so hard. So, maybe it's not for me. And then my path was a little bit different. I was working in the hospitality industry, and my oldest was going to kindergarten. And I thought to myself, wow, I get to be home with her all day, which is amazing. But then I'm going to go to work at night. And now she's going to be at school all day. And then I'm going to go to work at night. I've got to find something else. So I kind of thought about what I would be great at, the skills I already have. And that's when I chose to pursue my path in real estate. So different.
Yeah.
But
at least you had kind of that background. You had the history. You were around it your whole life.
yes, I definitely remember going to a lot of job sites growing up. My dad would do the sprinkler systems for my grandfather. And I just remember playing on dirt hills, and probably nothing you would see today, because I don't think kids hang out in construction zones. But yeah, I'm definitely walking through.
I hope I don't see that nowadays.
I'm walking through houses being built and, climbing on dirt mounds as my dad was doing the sprinklers.
I guess, yeah. I think to add maybe a little bit more depth to my story, I mean, I have bought and sold several homes over the years, just traveling, moving with the military. Mm-hmm. And so I always felt I could do better. How can I make this process better as a real estate agent? And so I was really passionate about that. Making that experience a completely different experience from what I had throughout the years.
I do think that was a bit of my motivation, not to get my license, but when I became licensed, is to make that process for a new home buyer just educated and knowledgeable. I remember when we were buying our first house, it was a little unconventional from how we do real estate transactions today. We were buying a for sale by owner, but we had our realtor. And I remember going to the open house, and I negotiated my realtor's commission for her with the owners of the house. I asked if they'd be willing to pay X% to my realtor because we chose them to represent us. And so, I did that for her. And then, we did everything at their kitchen table. We signed the contract at their kitchen table. And I remember my realtor being like, "Oh, did you bring the check?" And I was like, "The check for what?" I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I think we might have had to go back home and get a check. So we just were following through the process. And I think now realtor, we expect more of our realtors, and we want to provide more as well.
Yeah, because you don't know what you don't know. And it's if you have somebody who's really not providing any information, they're just expecting you to do this and to know these things. No, you don't.
Yeah, I did not know what earnest money was, or that I would need to deliver a check that very day.
Right.
So it was, how much? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we have that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I think this will be a good conversation too later in another episode about kind of the types of buyers that we work with and what our expertise is and kind of the education that we provide.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking about getting into real estate, what made you choose to go on a path of a solo journey versus joining a team? Because most agents, I would say, that first get licensed, you're kind of told, join a team, learn the business. You can get leads from your team. Yeah. Why did you choose something different?
So I definitely thought about that a lot. And I think I interviewed with
Yes.
other brokerages. Having been into the marketing side for several years prior to getting my license, I knew I could do the marketing aspect of it. And I guess looking at the different brokerages, I knew, one, I'm self-sufficient, I'm self-motivated. I think that's key. I think a lot of people do need to join a team right out the gate if they kind of need some hand holding, and that's totally okay. That's totally okay. You just have to know what kind of person you are. But I, one, knew that I didn't kind of need that hand holding, and being online and the social media aspect, I was fine having not necessarily joining a team, but having a group around me that I could collaborate with. And I knew that I wanted to do real estate differently. And that's why I loved EXP, because it's a cloud-based brokerage. I'm not reporting to an office,
Yeah.
sitting on calls. I'm not cold calling. I'm not door knocking. I wanted to do different business differently. And they ticked all of those boxes for me. And I was, you know what? I'm going solo, and I've been solo ever since.
Yeah. Mine's a little different, maybe a little more selfish.
Okay.
But I remember I interviewed with a large team here locally, and they said, okay, this is the expectation. You have to be at the office by 8:30. You're going to be on the phones till noon. We give you an hour for lunch. Then if you don't have appointments, you're back on the phones. And then, then you have your evenings to show houses. And I said, oh my gosh, I don't think that this is for me. So I went home. Mind you, I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, I think. I think she was 18 months, maybe 2 years old, I think, when I first was in the process of getting my license. And this is when I was interviewing with this team. I don't even know if I was licensed yet. But then I was thinking, oh my gosh, well, that doesn't sound like the life that I want. That doesn't sound like who's going to watch my kid, you know? And then I always think about things when I hear them in threes. And I heard about EXP over here, and I heard about EXP over here, and then I heard about EXP from this stranger online. And her message was, you can make $100,000 a year and drive carpool. And I was, yep, that's what I want to do. So, I mean, very selfishly and kind of trusting a stranger on the internet, that's why I chose EXP. But also, too, I didn't have to leave my house. I could figure out, a couple working hours and make it fit into my life and grow it as I see fit, right?
Yeah.
We all have a business that's individual to us, especially if you are a solo agent, right? Your business is individual to you. If you're on a team, you play by the team's rules. And I know I'm super resourceful and a self-starter, and I can figure it out. And
Yeah.
I have, yeah. Yeah, I definitely, I might have overindulged that in the beginning of, I need to figure everything out before I get out there and talk to people. But it has made me very knowledgeable at what I do, which is great,
I will say, quick caveat, Amy and I both interviewed at the same place that she's talking about. Yeah. And I was quickly, hell no.
So we just went running the opposite way.
Yeah.
So we won't share that place, but
it was the same place. And I will say too that being on a team, I knew I wanted to build something for myself that was sustainable. I didn't want to build somebody else's business.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times on the teams, you really don't have a voice. You're not really known. It's a lot of transaction based, maybe not relationship based. And I'm very much a relationship based agent. Yeah. I'm not about just hustling and pumping out transactions. I'm in it for, we get to know everything about the people that we work with, and we build these relationships. And most of the people that I've helped, I'm still in a relationship with them. They're my friends. I see them regularly. We talk. I'm invested, and that means more to me. And I feel I can be a better agent doing that solo than on a team and just pumping transactions out.
I often tell people they are never going to get rid of me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep showing up in their lives. I don't care if they want to ever sell their house, but you're my friend now.
Yeah.
Which is the best part about the business. But yes, in that team, it was once you got it under contract, it just got passed to someone else and they handled the rest of the process. So it was just kind of a machine, which is fine, but that's just didn't feel authentic to what I wanted, which was cool. But I'm just so grateful for EXP because even though we are solo agents, we do get to collaborate with other agents every single week in multiple different ways. And the relationships that we've built with other agents clear across the country has been nothing that I would have expected.
I'm super
So-
grateful. I didn't know what to expect. So you think, oh, it's a cloud-based brokerage. How are you going to build? How are you going to learn? How are you going to, that seems so disconnected. It's probably the least disconnected thing I can think of. Because one thing I've learned, and we can kind of go into this about how you and I met.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
So I guess let's break off into that real quick.
Yeah.
How we met.
So we live, 30 minutes away. We never would have known each other. We didn't know each other before we got licensed. And we met in Nashville, Tennessee at a conference for women within, it wasn't exclusive to our brokerage, but it was exclusive. Well, no, it wasn't exclusive at all. It was, but held by our mentor, basically, in real estate. And that's where we met. And then
the rest is history.
Yeah. What else to say, right? Now we're doing a podcast together. So it's been a few years, but yeah. And there's tons of relationships that we've built that within our cloud-based brokerage online. But then the cool part is we make a point to see each other in person too. And that has been just, I love it. I love being surrounded by, it's mostly female solo producers, but there are men in there too. There are men in there. There's a few men in there too. But just to see the incredible businesses that, we get to share in, really.
I think what was shocking to me and what I wasn't expecting based on the other brokerages I'd interviewed with and just other agents that I've known, because I said I used to do social media marketing for agents who were in various different brokerages, is it seemed really closed off. Nobody was willing to share. And it was just, nope, this is the knowledge that I know. Everything was under lock and key. And I feel with our group that we're in, or even EXP in general, everything is an open book.
Yeah.
Literally nothing is a secret, because it's like, here's all the plans. We'll lay it out for you, but it takes that certain person to implement
take it and do it, right? And I don't have any experience with any other brokerage because I didn't come from learning about other people's businesses. So sometimes what do you mean you don't do that?
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know those things? And even within our brokerage, I would just say we're part of a really good group. So that's super exciting.
Yeah, because we meet within our group. So obviously we have various events brokerage wide we can attend. And then we have our Tuesday powerhouse meetings. And then we have our Thursday elites meeting. And then, you and I here locally, we collaborate with other agents too that are in our, so.
Yeah. I remember when I first got licensed, I was thinking, well, why do I need to hang out with other realtors? Like they're not going to bring me business. That's not true. I meant locally, right? Local agents, in a way, they are your competition. But I've just found that collaborating with other agents, even within other brokerages, just to get a read on the market and what's happening and your experiences, it's only beneficial. So I hope that our market moves more in that way. I think that a lot of agents are collaborative when they're taught that it's helpful.
Okay. All right. So let's think about this. Looking back, what's one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you're just starting out?
Ooh. So I think I touched on this a little bit where I over-researched, I over-learned. You can't ever learn too much, but instead of getting out there and just, you have to have confidence in the beginning, and it's hard to do because you haven't done it before, right? But this is a very learn on the go job. And having other agents, especially in your local market, that you can have as mentors or bounce scenarios off of, because real estate isn't one size fits all ever. Every transaction's different. Conversations are different. Negotiations are different. So having other agents from the beginning, so collaborating with other agents, and then having more confidence to just go out there and you're never going to be able to learn it all. Learn your contracts, learn the market, right? Do your market research and learn your contracts. and then just fly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
go for it,
Just
yeah.
get out there.
Well,
Get out there.
before I answer for that, I will just say I remember before we met in Nashville, so we had this thing called Workplace within EXP. It was now moved to Slack, but it's all of these different groups, these referral groups. So, I mean, EXP has 87,000 plus agents. I'm sure there's more than that now. So I remember seeing you in these groups, and people would say, "Hey, I have a referral for Jacksonville. Who do we know in that market?" Every single time, you better bet I'm seeing Amy in there. She was working it.
Yeah. Yes. And that I did get, I mean, EXP is great in that way because within our group, people were able to recommend me because of the knowledge they knew I had from the same collaborations that were in the same trainings that were a part of within our group in EXP. So they felt confident recommending me. And my first transaction was from a referral from our group within EXP.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people get upset when their friends and family don't use them when they're brand new, but it's a really big transaction. And I remember, I think it was Tina Call said, you cannot expect your friends and family to use you for 2 years.
Yeah.
So you better get out there and get your own business and
Exactly.
prove that you know it and you can do it well. And then your friends and family. And that almost is true in my own business, right?
Yeah.
I helped strangers for the first couple of years, and a lot of my business came from EXP referrals through Workplace and through Honey Badgers, Fast Forward. So,
And I think that speaks on to being a solo agent is we're not expecting anybody to give us any leads. We're not expecting business to be handed to us. It's like you have to go get it. And you have to, earn that business, and you're learning along the way, and it taught us a lot. And I think maybe in a future podcast we'll kind of talk about how, businesses can be different for each solo agent because you built your business at the beginning from referrals. Mine initially was built on Instagram, on social media. That's how my first business came through. And it still works, but there's just so many different ways that you can grow your business in real estate. And being in Powerhouse, we're surrounded by all of these women who are doing their businesses in all of these different ways. And it's a constant inspiration for me.
Yeah, I know. It's exciting, right? It makes it a little more exciting to see all the ways because we're not just real estate agents, we're building businesses. We're entrepreneurs. And I think that's what is the difference oftentimes when people treat it a business and you're a business owner versus, oh, I sell some houses.
Right. Yeah, this is what we do full time. This is it. This is it.
Yeah. Got to feed the family.
So let's see. How long have we been recording? Well, 22 minutes.
Okay. What do you want to do a piece of advice?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
So I gave my piece of advice. If I was brand new, what would be yours?
That's a tough question. I feel like I could say a lot of things here. I know, same thing with I think we were kind of on the same page as I was just consuming all of the things. And maybe I could have done in real time learning instead of me trying to gather all of the knowledge and then take action.
Yeah.
I should have been taking action while learning.
Yeah.
I probably would have gotten along a little bit faster, but I just wanted to be so confident and know the ins and outs and be able to serve my clients to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
That I was a little nervous.
Yeah. Which is good because I think some agents don't treat it seriously enough, which, that's another podcast, I guess, right?
Sorry if you've ever experienced that.
Yeah, exactly. And the shiny object syndrome. I think we both talked about that earlier and I forgot, but this is working in your business. Let me try it for a week. And then if it doesn't work, I'm going to go on to the next thing. And it's just, you have to find your one thing that you're going to give 100% to.
Yep.
And I think there's a book, The One Thing, right?
Yeah.
By Gary Keller. But yeah, instead of just bouncing around, right? Because you're constantly bouncing around, you're spending money that you probably don't have because you're not making any money yet selling houses. So I remember taking a lot of trainings, investing a lot of money in learning or not even lead sources. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It was just tons of things, right?
I think too, I'll add to that, I guess another piece of advice is not comparing yourself to where other people are in their journey. Because, starting out, you're paying attention to everybody and, what are they doing? And you just kind of have to forge your own path and not get caught up in, because that can put you in
mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have a whole other podcast on
Exactly.
mindset probably, but it is something all realtors know that real estate is a roller coaster and everyone experiences the ups and downs. Even seasoned agents, we've heard, talk about the ups and downs of real estate and just keeping your mindset healthy. I wish I would have known that in the beginning too.
Right.
So
Amy, what are we going to be talking about in episode 2?
that's a great question, Melissa. What are we going to be talking about in episode 2? We are going to talk about using AI in our businesses and in our personal lives.
Yes. And Amy has a really amazing tip that she's going to share with you. She tried to gatekeep it. She's like, but if you're a real estate agent, you're going to want to know this because it's going to save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It racks up and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And it's probably out there now, but what I've probably known about it all year. And I was definitely, okay, I guess I should share this.
Yeah.
And then no one knew. So I'm okay, yes, I really need to share it. Sometimes I think I don't need to share things because, but then no one knew. So
Yeah.
I think it's out there now, but I'll still share it in case you don't know.
Yep. So AI is big, as you know, it could be big for your business and how we use it in our personal lives. But we do have some really great AI tips that we've taken away from some conferences that we've been to, that we've implemented, some resources that you'll be able to immediately implement. And then we do have, before we wrap up, a quick tip of the day.
Is if you're hoping to get leads from Instagram, make sure people know who you are and what you do. So your bio at the top should say that you're a realtor, the area that you focus in, and then your expertise, right?
Absolutely.
And then another portion of that even is...
Well, yeah. And then too, you want to link to anything if you have guides and resources.
yes.
But Instagram is SEO. So you want to put those keywords in your bio. So when people are searching on Instagram, you're popping up. So that was big for me because I immediately niched down at the beginning to St. Johns County Realtor. So when people are searching that pops up. But you could be a new construction, military families, relocation. And then to add to that, so you want to hone in on your bio and then add 3 pinned posts. So you can have pinned post, and what should those pinned posts be?
Yeah, I thought that these are awesome because they just continue on your niche, right? So if you have a niche, then it needs to be very clear what you do, who you serve, and where you're located, and how you can help someone, right?
So so maybe one of the pinned posts would be an introduction to you.
Oh, yeah.
And then you said the areas you serve, and then how you can help somebody. So
Yeah. So make sure your Instagram is optimized.
Yeah.
If you're hoping to get leads on social media.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this very first podcast and video of Let 'Em Have It podcast. And Melissa Anderson. And until next time.
Lots of editing.
Yes.